Welcome everyone to PrepperNet Live. I am Forrest, one of your hosts this evening. Thank you for joining us. Tonight's going to be an incredible evening, like always. And man, I'm looking forward to this evening. So, like always, I got a few announcements, and then we got the normal videos that I've selected. I actually had some help this week, but hey, let's have a good time. Again, I want to remind everyone, why do I do this? This is not for everyone in the world. It's mostly for PrepperNet members, just to kind of bring everyone up to date, what we're doing, introduce you to some of our personnel, some of our leaders, experts within PrepperNet. And that's kind of what this is for. And I'm going to show you guys a quick flash here. You can see that I and my co-host Larry is in the green room. So we're going to get all this started, but we're here live. And so let's get this started. So anyway, I hope y'all read that as I was talking. So I do want to tell you guys that there's a summary about who I am, because there are always newbies each week. I do want to point out that, the books, hey, they're incredible. If you don't have them, then you probably will not survive. Okay, that's a joke. Okay, let's keep going. Hey, you do need to check us out, me and Uncle Buck, on Prepping Academy podcast. We release it usually every Friday morning, so check that out. It is we're only about 800,000 listeners from being the number one podcast. So I don't know how many Joe Rogan gets, but we take what he gets and subtract about 20. Well, yeah, a lot. So anyway, hey, we do have events every week. I always mention a few of these because these are kind of constant, but we have a ZelloNet every single Monday night. And hey, well, Larry, did you run that this week?
No, I joined in, but I didn't run it this week. It was Sierra Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, sweet. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but see, he's in the green room waiting for me to introduce him, and yet I can still talk to him. So we had that. Larry a lot of times will run that. And he has one on Thursday nights, I know, as well, which we don't even have that one up there. That's mostly for the Northeast Tennessee group. But so a lot of cities have theirs. And so we got stuff every single night going on somewhere. It's crazy. Sisterhood Zello is tomorrow night. And I think I'm sure Beth G, she's in the chat room. If y'all look in the chat room, you'll look for Beth G. She is organizing that tomorrow night, which is going to be fun. I've never listened in. They won't let me. Then we 40 meter digital net. And then we also have a phone net as well. If you join, you get to see all these things. You get more information. You get to understand what a ZelloNet is, how to install it, and how to work it. It's easy. But to do that, you got to join preppernet.net. That's all you got to do. Join preppernet.net. So let's go to the next slide okay. Big event for PrepperNet. May 5th through 7th. We're going to a expo. It's called Mountain Readiness. It's in Harmony, North Carolina, which is, if you could see where I-77 and I-40 intersect, it's very close to that, within like 15, 20 minutes. So look on a map, I-40, it's northeast of that. Yeah, of I-40 and 77 where they intersect. So we're going to have a big showing there. We got lots of PrepperNet members that are teaching there. I've got some good personal friends that's going to come and hang out with PrepperNet family, like Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy, Mike Shelby from Forward Reserver. Alan Kay is going to drop by. I've invited Chris Weatherman, which is Angry American. So who else? Oh, the dude from, oh my gosh, Stony something. I don't know. He's a big homesteader. A bunch of people will be stopping by the PrepperNet event. We're doing a little event on Friday night. Again, if you want more information on that, just join preppernet.net. So that's for more information on Mountain Readiness, go to mountainreadiness.com and register, and we'll see you there. So, some of the names are going to be there. Stony Ridge is the guy I was thinking about. Some of the guys that's going to be there, some photos, and and Peeps, and I know Kilted Prepper's going to be there. I forgot the guy's name from Off Road Truckers. There's going to be, and the Knife Guy's going to be there. It's going to be great. Just go and check it out. Hey, next weekend I'm going to do a big sale on legacy food. Again, you're a member of PrepperNet. That means I can offer you prices that no one else in the world can, because it's a membership. I don't advertise it to the public. The way it works is simple. If a product costs $1,000, that means it costs me $500. And that means you would buy that for $1,000 anywhere else. So I split the difference with you. So you save around 25%. And I have shipping in that as well. So I make, I don't know, 15 to 20%, depending on the shipping and everything. So, hey, it is a win for you, and it also supports PrepperNet. You can see how that works, but you will save at least I think it's 25% minimum on most of the purchases. And Legacy, if you don't know, is the absolutely best, period, bar none. Most pounds, most calories for your dollars. It's the best food. It's almost like a expert chef cooked it for you. It's really good. Anyway, I made that part up, but it sounds good. Next is a big event in Asheville. This is, sometimes we don't, excuse me, advertise events like this, but two of my good friends, Eric Parlow and Patrick Adams, is doing an event where they're teaching a hands-on advanced radio class. You have to be at least a general. You have to be a PrepperNet member. There's some basic, qualifications, because they don't want to waste time. But if you pay the fee, it's like a 10-hour class. It is 10 hours. It says it's 10 hour. You get food, you get all the training, hands-on. By the time you leave this event, you will have questions, but you will know not only all the basics. You'll be able to turn your radio on, add repeaters, be able to talk on probably Digi and HF and all the different things, and your spouse can come for free. So I think there's only like 6 or 8 spots left. I know Beth G is going to that, and I can't believe Eric is not in the chat room. But hey, if you have any questions whatsoever, email Eric at that email address. And again, there's 8 spots available. They will go fast. So it's first come, first serve. They'll be gone by tomorrow. So if you're interested, go to preppernet.net and you can get more information on that. Or you can go to the Asheville meetup and maybe check that out as well. But I would just email Eric and he will email you everything you need to know. There's Echo Papa is in the house right there. So he is here. If you have a question, just but use that email and say, hey, I'm interested. And that can get everything that you need, and all your dreams and wishes on ham radio will come true. So if you have any questions in the chat room, I don't mind while I'm talking. You can ask Echo Papa. But it is April 15th. It's several weeks away. So anyway, go to that. See event on. Yep. So he's going to take care of you guys there. I'm moving on. Hey, Sun Oven. Sun Oven is the greatest product ever invented by mankind outside the cell phone. But the Sun Oven can cook your food, dehydrate your food. It can pasteurize water. It can save your life. So I'm giving away a free one. It's the whole package is actually more than $679, but go to preppernet.com/giveaway. preppernet.com/giveaway. And you know what? Yeah, I will probably give that away. I'll probably make the announcements in 2 weeks, and we'll see. Maybe you'll win. All I need is your email. It may ask for your name, but I just need your email, because if I got to let you know if you won or not. I think you'd probably want me to let you know if you won or not. Okay, let's keep going here. Oh, guys, I need your help. I need your support. There's things that PrepperNet needs to buy. We need to buy some things to do a better job for you guys. And so to do that, you buy Legacy Food Aromas, or you become a member for $40 a year. That's literally like 3 cups of coffee. I mean, well, okay. If you go to Starbucks, it's three. Um, but hey, it's $40 a year, and you get. I put 11 courses: intro to crypto, spy tech workshop, family emergency planning. I've gotten so many comments on that one because the documentation I provide for that, people literally print it out and they fill it out and they have their own family emergency plan with bug out routes, with nicknames, everything that you need. It's crazy. Important document binder, putting that together, privacy, security, home based business webinar, my intro to preparedness, which is, gosh, that's 5 videos. Each one is over an hour and a half long. A lot of videos, and it comes straight from my book that I wrote as well. So, Roadmap to Preparedness. Anyway, so go join it. It's $40 a year. If you can't pay $40 a year, then why? I mean, you can't even be a prepper if you can't afford $40 a year. But anyway, tonight is Larry. He's my Northeast Tennessee city leader. He's way more than that, but that's what his title is. And we have a mystery guest on May 1st. I don't know who it is, so I'm working on it. So anyway, hey Larry, are you in the house? Let me bring you up here so everybody can see our ugly mugs. Oh, there we are. Oh gosh. Oh wait, let me go back. So Larry's been with us for a long time. Larry, he's like I said, he's more than a city leader. We'll get into some of that for PrepperNet, but Larry, you've been with us for years. I mean, how long? How did you discover PrepperNet?
I joined when it was Carolina Preppers Network,
Yeah,
and I actually would go over to Asheville to their meetings and some of their first Friday campouts. Went to some of the Waynesville events. First heard about it at Mountain Readiness. No,
no,
sensible mountain preparedness that Jan put on. That's the first
yes,
time I'd heard about,
hmm hmm
and then heard about it a couple other events she had, and heard about it at Prepper Camp, and then joined through Carolina Prepper Network, and then started talking to you before it went to PrepperNet.
So, how far is your house from Asheville? I want people just to understand where you were driving to go to this meeting. How far?
Uh, Not the fact that I cheat a little bit when I drive. I could drive it in a little over an hour, about an hour and 15 minutes if I wasn't breaking the speed limit.
Yeah. But you don't break the speed limit, do you? You enforce the speed limit.
Got to get those meetings.
So, goodness gracious. But yeah, I remember in the beginning days talking to you, and I'm like, this guy's from Tennessee. I think you are the reason we had to change our name.
Well, some people talked about starting one, through Carolina Prepper Network, and everybody's like, well, Larry, you need to start one in East Tennessee. And I said, well, they wouldn't understand it being called Carolina Prepper Network if it was in East Tennessee. And then when you went PrepperNet,
Mm-hmm.
jumped all over it. Was more than glad to go then.
Yeah, I think you were the reason, and because you were the one that hot trot. I'm like, gosh, at that time we were all over the Carolinas. I'm like, Tennessee, what are we going to do with people? The people are crazy. I mean, that was just thoughts in my head. I would never say that out loud or anything. So, okay, Larry's in the house. I do have some videos, guys. I've got 2 videos I would like to show you guys. I'm going to move us to the side, Larry, because these are just funny. I'm just saying. These are funny, and I've got to show these to everyone. So, first, Larry, let's talk about you know, being a city leader. I mean, city leaders come and go, don't they? And you've been there from the beginning, but you know that, I mean, it's hard sometimes. Things come up in people's lives, but so let me ask you, Larry, and you don't know I'm asking this, and I want you to be 100% truthful. Being a city leader, how important is it, and what does it mean to you to be a city leader for PrepperNet in Northeast Tennessee?
I got into it because I was a scoutmaster years ago. Tried to help kids get involved to be ready to take care of themselves. That I pushed and pushed and pushed that. when East Tennessee, I really didn't know how many people we'd have show up. And at the first meeting, I was overwhelmed how many people showed up. I think as a city leader, my goal has always been to encourage more people to get into prepping, to take that step, to talk to other people, to you know, to to get started. And once they get started, don't bog down. Keep going. And celebrate those small accomplishments and work to the next one. That's what I did in scouting, and that's what I try to encourage in every person that gets in our group or comes to an event with us.
Now, you made a statement to me, and then we're going to go talk about the dead cities because I'm talking to you about being a city leader. But do you enjoy being a city leader? And let me ask you this. You made a comment to me the other day about your daughter getting married, and you looked around and go, oh my gosh, these are all PrepperNet people. Well, a lot of them. Go ahead and tell us about that.
That's true. I mean, I've been in law enforcement over 30 years, and a lot of the people that was going to be invited to her wedding probably would have been from a law enforcement family. PrepperNet has become our family. And there is a boatload of people that's been invited to my daughter's wedding that all of them are PrepperNet. And there's probably going to be a lot more PrepperNet people there at her wedding than there will be law enforcement now, because PrepperNet has become her family and our family.
Oh yeah, I remember when she was having some issues. I mean, PrepperNet family, I think, yeah, you could tell me, but just literally surrounded you and your whole family and was praying for her to get better. And I remember that.
Yes, sir. That kept us going.
Kept you going. Awesome. So so what we're saying here, guys, is we have 5 cities in California, and we had some great leaders. One lady, I think she was a doctor, and she moved out because she wanted to like start her homestead and get all this, and so she moved, and which left a vacancy right there in California. We had another leader that was moved because his wife job transfer. So there's reasons people move, and our fault has been not encouraging people to have a team of people instead of just one people. But you can see we have some cities in California that need leaders. If you are a member in California, in San Diego, Glendale, let's see, Nevada County, North San Diego, and greater Sacramento area, hey, we need leaders there. It's real. And we have training. We have people like BG, Beth in the chat room, and love to help people. And I mean, that's what we do, is we help people become city leaders. So, hey, if you're interested, contact joinpreppernet.net and say, hey, I'm interested. And we've done this every one of our shows, and literally every show we get someone new going, hey, I don't have a city there, but I'm down in Oakland. Could I start one in Oakland? And we're like, yeah, let's start that up. So if you're interested, there's a whole process. We vet you. We have to come search all your preps, and we need all your credit card numbers. That's all. No, don't need to do any of that. So anyway, so if you're interested, join preppernet.net. Let's see what else is next. Okay, it's my videos of the week. I got 2 videos this week, Larry. Sorry, man. They're quick. Let me find them real quick. And I was told to only play them one time. Apparently playing them 2 times is really irritating. So I got to set up this first one. Okay. So the idea is, it's called invisible prank. So these people act like something is going on, and then you get to see the reaction of the other person. Like, for an example, if I'm walking through the yard and I go, oh no, it's a snake, it scares everyone, right? So that's kind of what this video is. And I just want to show everyone as we watch this one. And so turn your volumes up even louder. I think it should be fine, but here we go.
What? What is it?
Oh my god, babe! Ah!
The fuck is wrong? What'd you get, Sam?
What? No! What is... Hi!
I just laugh. I love that. I can't do
Oh,
that. I can't do that at my house because people would kill me. I'm just telling you. My wife would smack me, get something and throw at me. But I just think that's hilarious. I like the one where the lady shuts the door in the garage and he goes, "Open the door." So okay. I just think that's funny. Here's another one I think's funny. This is a cool trick you can play on your coworkers and family members. And this is my last funny video of the week. Usually I only play one, but two this week. So here we go.
How to slap someone without consequences.
Awesome. Travel. Oh my god, what's. Oh, thanks.
So you draw this little bug on your hand like thing. And like this or something, you draw it, and then you just smack them and you just point to it and they think, "Oh, you got it." So I thought that was hilarious. I will try that. And if you come to Mountain Readiness, you might have a mosquito on your head or something. Oh, so Larry, you have to admit they were funny, weren't they?
they were, especially the one guy that just sat there and went like this.
I know he's like, "Ah." That is hilarious. So anyway, that's my two funny videos this week. But I've got to try the one where you draw something on your hand and you just hit someone and you point to it and that's all. And they go, "Oh, okay. I can't get mad at that." You know what I mean? Because it looks like something's dead on your hand. So anyway, so let me ask you a question. We usually go for a book of the week or the best book, but we talked about that. But what do you think? I mean, what kind of books do you read, Larry?
Well, I like a lot of Mark Goodwin's books. He
Mhm.
talks a lot about economic collapses. Some of his books are based here in Tennessee, Western North Carolina. So you hear a lot of landmarks and areas you're familiar with. Kind of brings a little better meaning to it. And I like a lot of Franklin Horton's books, especially Locker 9, because I have a kid that travels and her being away concerns me. So I think about that. How would I get to her and how would I get her home?
Yeah. Yeah. So Franklin Horton, yeah, he makes me mad in his book. He writes great books, but there's like a couple series that just makes me mad. One of them was what was it? It's kind of like a one-off. It was the one where it was all going down in Charlotte and Boone. They were terrorists or something, random acts or something like that. It wasn't a series. It was just one book thing. And I read that and I called him. I said, "Listen, dude, you can't write books like that. You can't include Charlotte. You can't include, things like that. You just got to stop that." And Mark Goodwin, man, he's great. He's got that dude. There's not a man on earth producing more books than Mark Goodwin.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Yes.
So he's good. But okay. So I got my little spider thing ready. See if I smack someone, I'm ready to go. You do like I do though. I mean, I read books, paper books when I can, but my Audible account, I have hundreds of books in there. I've read hundreds of books I've read. And so I like to listen to them. Matter of fact, I just added one and I can't wait to get it started. Y'all should be adding my books to Audible. All my books are in Audible and I don't read them. So that's good for all you guys. It's called Own Spiritual Combat is a book. A guy just kind of told me about it. The last one I read was Catch Me If You Can. Then I read Delete That by John Christ. I mean, so I have hundreds and hundreds of books I read by listening, and that is reading. I mean, it is. A lot of people, that's not reading. That's what this is for. When someone says, "Well, that's not reading," back. Oh yeah, I yeah. So, what got you? I mean, you've been a prepper. I mean, when we've talked, you've been a prepping or in the mindset for years. What kind of got you into this?
Mom and Dad grew up in the Depression era, My dad was World War II veteran, and my mom grew up with that mindset. She had a lot of younger siblings she had to take care of. My father was the same way. He was next to oldest in his family. Pretty much everything they had, they raised. I
Mhm.
mean, whether it be meat, whether it be vegetables, whatever. My dad got back from the army and from World War II and did a lot of different things, but he also he took care of a dairy farm. So everything we had that we ate was raised, in our place. I just got to the mindset of that's what I understood was the way of life. I didn't really look at it as prepping. And then I got into Boy Scouts. Prepping really kicked into that. And just kind of went through my whole life looking at always trying to stay one step ahead or always trying to have the things I needed on hand or close by. And, got into law enforcement and met my wife that I'm married to. And
Did you
she,
arrest her?
no, actually, she probably got me to straighten my act up and fly right. So
Mhm.
the good thing about that is, she was very interested in prepping. She actually, when I was a scoutmaster, she helped me with my scout troop when we were dating. She kept, she was my secretary, kept everything going. She helped with the meetings, she helped with the committees, and so we got to do a lot of things together before we ever got married, and that helped, I think, with her on the prepping mindset too, being around scouting. So a lot of things kind of just fell into place for us, and really, it hit home on 9/11 because I had always been kind of a loner about my preps, and I was working in law enforcement that day. Can tell you exactly where I was, what I was doing, and when everything happened. Came home, grabbed my bag, and then it dawned on me: my wife didn't have a bag.
Mm.
I had not prepared her, and so I spent a lot of time making up for that.
We talked about that in the bug out thing that we did. A lot of people, they have their own bag, and because their wife is not involved or doesn't approve, then a lot of times they don't do the female bag or the kids bag. And I guess it's almost like living a lie, isn't it? It's like, yeah, I got my bag, but I mean, but you don't have your family. I mean, can your entire family live out of your bag? No, is the answer to that. Before you answer that, um, I mean, so you got to have all the bags. And now it's kind of interesting with me. I've got people that have moved out, kids. I'm like, okay, what? I mean, y- yeah, there's a whole dynamic when you have kids leave the house. You know this, and it changes things. So, but yeah. So now, does your wife have a bag? I would say that your wife, knowing your wife, she's probably put her own bag together at this point and didn't even
She's
wait for you.
Everybody in this house has a bag, and their bag travels with them,
Hmm.
no matter where they go. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's been a
You
good
said
thing.
you're in law enforcement. So do you shoot people like every day?
Not every day. That's too much paperwork.
Too much. Yeah, going to court every day, other day is not good, huh? And so, so yeah, I remember you're in long. I mean, I won't tell people, but I mean, you've been in for a while, so you don't actually. I mean, you have a lot of experience in law enforcement. We'll just say that. Yeah. Hmm. Um. So, was there an event that you're prepping for?
To me, you know, when I listened to Dr. Forston's books, that EMP thing hit pretty hard.
Hmm.
And but watching everything going the way it's going now, I'm more concerned about an economic issue.
Yeah. Do you know this person?
Yeah, I know that person. She's right. Her bag gets customized to her needs, just like my daughter's. So
Yep. Okay. So okay. So you prepare for the EMP thing.
started out, that was a major focus in my life because I had a lot of friends in prepping and back then, and
Uh-huh.
they were looking at the same thing because we kind of looked at it as if you prepared for an EMP, you had everything else covered.
You got everything's covered. Yep. Yep. And so, sometimes when we go camping, you drive this weird vehicle, and it's not like a utility vehicle. It's not like a camper or an RV. Can you tell me what it is?
It's a campulance. It was an ambulance. It began its life as an ambulance, and now it is a camper. It is it carries a lot of our equipment. It carries a lot of our we got food stored in it. We got a lot of gear stored in it. Might even have some other things stored in it that some people probably keep locked up in a safe at their house, but I keep it in that camper ready to go. And
Hmm.
it's become a big asset to our family. It goes to every outing we go to, and I love it. It's like it's a big box. I mean, it's got everything we need.
Now, please tell me you didn't take the lights off,
Not really. Some
because
of
you got to
the
be able to use them.
almost all the lights are there except the flashers, and that's because we built a rack to put up on top, and we use the mounting brackets for some of the flashing lights for that. But all the scene lights are there. If I flip on the scene lights, everything glows after that.
Man, I would get flashing lights on that sucker. I mean, and then I would get magnetic signs and just boom, and like, make it look like a real first responder. And then you could be the first one to the campsite.
Could do. I've looked at all different kinds of license plates I want to put on that thing.
Have you named it?
We call it the Campulance.
Campulance. Okay, so it does
Yep.
have a name. And that's just funny. I can't, you got to have signs though. You got to make signs to the side that makes it look like it's still a vehicle, but when you read it, it says like Alamance, county or something where people, they just glance at it, they go, "Oh man, I need to get out of But anyway, yeah, I, that's just. I mean, have you ever seen that done before? I mean, where'd you get that idea?
Actually, I got the idea because I was going to take the box off of it and put it on the back of an old EMP proof truck I have.
Hmm.
And ambulances come in various lengths. And the one I've got's too big to fit on the back of that truck. So we decided, instead of changing our idea and not having one at all, we turned it into a pull behind. That way we can pull it with any vehicle we've got, and it'll pull behind any truck. And we have,
Oh, so you don't have the truck underneath it. You just have it. Oh,
yeah, it hooks it, and it's got its own brake system. It's got
okay.
its own hydraulic brakes. If it pushes against the truck, it pushes brake fluid to the wheel. It's still got the dually rear end under it. So I can pull it with any truck we've got.
Interesting. Huh. That's kind of disappointing though. I'll just be honest with you. I want the flashing lights and on the truck. So, but yeah, I understand. So, so you do a lot of events in Northeast Tennessee. I would say you're top five for sure of most active groups we have. And you go camping, you do all, and I mean, people from my Charlotte group drive, was that 4 hours, 3 hours to your group?
Around 4 years.
4 hours. They drive 4 hours all the time to go to your group. And it kind of makes me mad. I'm like, why aren't we doing that here? And I think it's more because of you and the people in your group than the lack of events we have here. But tell us some of the things that you do are pretty amazing. All the people that are involved in what you guys do.
Well, we do an actual camping trip May through November. We have a meeting every month, but May through November, we have a camp out. We try to get everybody to roll in on Friday. Some people roll in actually on Thursday. And Friday night, we have a campfire and talk about open topics on prepping. Saturday morning, everybody has breakfast. We start classes. We try to do at least one DIY type class, and we do hands-on classes, and we'll do things like, we set up a big compass course, or we'll do This year we've got a man and woman that's going to teach archery. They're big into archery, so they're going to teach archery this year. We did some DIY bulk, buckets turned into water filters. We've reloaded ammunition right there at the picnic table. Had a guy come up that's big into reloading. Everybody went home with some ammo. They loaded themselves. We do that all through the summer. And then in November, we have a camp out where, well, let me go back. On Saturday, we have classes. Saturday night, we have a big potluck dinner. Then we'll have a campfire after that. And then Sunday, we have everybody gets together before everybody leaves. In November, we do it just a little different because it gets darker sooner. And we'll have a dinner and a movie. While we're having our potluck, we still have all the other events. But while we're having the potluck dinner, we set up a prepper type movie so that you can actually watch a movie in the campground at one of the campsites while we eat. And it's always a prepper type movie. We never veer from that. And we've done a lot of different movies that got people to think, and we kind of pick it apart after it's over with, see what kind of ideas it got them to stimulate.
So Beth wants to do a movie night in Charlotte. I think she wants to do High School Musical. I don't know. That's the word I've been hearing. I just refuse to go see that. But she wants to do. She says it's a prepping movie, but I don't get it. So you've seen PrepperNet change over the years. I mean, I guess, gosh, you've been in over, I don't know what the dates are, probably 6 or 7 years total. I don't know.
Let me see.
Beth said I'm lying.
Well, I'm trying to think what the year was. That Sensible Mountain Preparedness was at the Folk Moot Center, and then we moved on from there. So we started. You went national in 2018. We had our first meeting in Northeast Tennessee in November of 2018.
Okay.
And I've been with CPN a few years before that.
So what have you, just an honest assessment, what do you think? I mean, because we're growing, we're now in 115 or so cities. We actually created like 2 more cities in the last couple of weeks. I know we did Kansas City. Kansas City was big. And I don't know if KC is on here, but Kansas City is big because I have a son that's graduated from Chapel Hill that's moving to Kansas City. So it's important we have a very good group there. And the other group was, I don't know, but we've started like a couple groups in the last couple weeks. So you've seen it grow. So as a person that is looking to get involved, that is maybe hesitant, or they don't have a city near them, or they don't have a PrepperNet group in their city, would you encourage them to start one, or just talk to us about all that?
It's worth the drive. I'll be honest with you. I had been on Zello when it was Carolina Preppers Network. And then I had went to Asheville and Waynesville. And the very first PrepperNet bug out camp, I could sit in my campsite and listen to voices around me. And I knew who those people were. I knew who Elizabeth was. I knew who Eric was. I mean, I could be Eric. Yes. And I could listen to those voices all the way around me, and I knew who they were. And it worked out to where I could walk up and talk to them because I felt comfortable. So I would say to anybody, it's worth the drive. If your city is not close by, find out where it's at and drive there. Spend some time, invest time in, time's the one thing we never get enough of, and you can't reload it after you use it. So spend it wisely. Spend it getting out here, going to a PrepperNet city group, getting to know people, get on Zello and get to know people.
Yep.
And you might find somebody that'll start a group, and you might start it yourself.
And and also the idea of being a part of a group is, I mean, that's one of the things I push. You got to be a part of the group, but the group also needs to be in your own community. That's why we have these in communities, and that's why we push meeting in person so you can meet people. And I mean, just imagine 6 years ago if your daughter was to get married. Of course, you would have been young then, but your whole friendship and friends have completely changed over the years because you've met like-minded people, have the same interest, and a lot of them, I won't say 100%, I mean most of them they care about you and your future, and even when the crap hits the fan they care about you.
Yes. And one of the things I looked at, being that I've done what I've done for as many years as I've done it, I had certain officers that worked for me that I trusted that we would continue on going to work if an SHTF event occurred. Our plan was to keep going,
Mhm.
but I wanted to know my family was safe. I wanted to know that no matter what happened, they'd be looked out after, because those few people that I knew
Mhm.
that was going to continue coming to work each day to try to keep things as safe as we possibly could for as long as we could. I wanted to know my family was safe. And that was one of the big things with me. And in doing so, I feel like I've got a whole group of friends now that are the best friends I've ever had in my life.
Dang right we are. Here's Phoenix. She's talking about going to old school boot camp. That's in Ohio. I'm not going to make it because I have a graduation. My son's graduating from Chapel Hill, but we're going to have a get together there of people from all over for PrepperNet. It's going to be getting together there. That's going to be pretty cool. That's going to be a lot of fun. Wish I could make it. I was there last year, but this year is just not going to work out. So everyone in the chat room and listening live, what I need you guys to do is, Larry is the king of any question that you can imagine. So if you have any prepper questions, or how to maybe you want to take a UPS brown truck and turn it into a into a into a RV style thing. So if you have a question for myself or Larry in the chat room, just type like question and then put your question. You don't even have to spell out question. You can just put question marks and then ask a question. It could be to Larry, myself. It could be to other people within here, like Beth, and a lot of people asking her questions. And you can even, his wife is online, and you can say, hey, is he really this crazy or something? And we'll see what her response is. But I'm going to ask a few more questions. And if you have questions, yeah, Beth G, thank you for showing us what 3 question marks look like. I want to show everybody that. So look right there. There's Beth G. That's BG. She's showing everyone how to do it. So thank you, Beth. High School Musical. Oh, and your wife said yes on the if you got questions for her. So that could be trouble.
That was
So
probably yes to the crazy part.
yes, and so so do you have, I probably should ask you this before then, but do you have like a leadership team that helps you with the Northeast Tennessee group?
Yes, we call them the core group, and to me, I feel like that is, I love doing what I do with PrepperNet. I love being involved with the group, and I love being involved with other groups besides just Northeast Tennessee. But those core group of people, we wouldn't have the Northeast Tennessee group we have if it wasn't for that core group of people that I can count on at any time. And if we're thinking about events or planning things, I can send out a text, and it comes back tenfold. They come back with ideas, suggestions, bouncing stuff off, helping fill in. They're great to have. I mean, our core group of people is priceless.
Priceless. So are you going to Mountain Readiness?
We actually scheduled our first camp out of the year before Mountain Readiness was scheduled, so I can't walk off on my group. I'll be here.
Just bring them with you. Y'all could make that a big hike trip. Walk over the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yes, that'd be a chore.
Hey,
But
that's real, man. Come on. I think we have I saw a question here. Question. Did I miss it? Start your question. Oh, that was Beth telling people what to do again. So here we go. Question, Larry. How big should your med kit for your Bob be?
I'm big on IFACs. I'm big on trauma because, being around firearms the way I am, I think everybody needs a good quality trauma kit. You can tack on your boo-boo kit based on your the meds you need, and based on, assorted basic supplies, but everybody needs a tourniquet. Everybody needs a couple of compression bandages. I think everybody needs a cat tourniquet, and I think everybody needs a SWAT tourniquet because they both have better functions than the other.
Yeah.
And compression bandages, got to have them. And to me, you got to have packing gauze because you got to be able to pack it and get the bleeding stopped, be able to apply that pressure down inside the wound. And it really depends on your training. If you're trained for it, you need to have it. If you're not trained for it, go get the training.
And let's be honest, a tourniquet is also comes in handy when someone says awkward stuff around the campfire. Put it around their neck. Yeah, right. I mean, in that the no, okay, maybe not. Okay,
I'll probably use the compression bandage for that one.
Okay. How does one person become a core member in your group? In my group, it's money. I mean, the more money you pay, the closer you can be in. No, I'm kidding.
In our group, it's dedication. You show up at the meetings, you show up at the campouts, you participate. You're not sitting at home on the couch putting in what you think everybody else should do. You get out and be part of what everybody does. So it's participation.
Yep. Movie night. So, I mean, there's a lot of prepper movies or you can stretch them to be a prepper movie. Like, The Book of Eli. I mean, it's not a prepping movie, but the dude's just bad and it's a good movie. But what kind of prepping movies have y'all been doing? I know y'all did all the High School Musicals, but after that, what did y'all do?
Our very first one was Panic in the Year Zero.
Oh, yes.
And that's
a black and white, right?
Huh?
Isn't that black and white?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And if you look at Panic in the Year Zero and then look at Trying to Travel and how people will act, how quickly resources will dry up, food will dry up, how people will start becoming predators. That movie right there, Panic in the Year Zero, I think sets the tone for prepping movies out there across the board.
Yep. There's also in a movie called Prepper or something. I think there is, or something like that. Then there's Jericho, which is a show. There's all kinds of prepper. There's also Twilight Zone. There's a show called Shelter. That's a great. It's only 30 minutes.
Yes.
It's called Shelter, black and white. That's very, very eye opening when you watch that. So is there any other movie you can remember, or is this a wife question?
Last year, we actually, at November last year, since Beth hadn't said anything, that one was The Grapes of Wrath. We showed that one from the point of view of, economic collapse, people having to bug out and travel, not being, some of them prepared to travel, some of them didn't. You look at it from the FEMA camp point of view when they were staying in the camps, they had people die along the way. They had some people treated them good, some people treated them bad. And that one stimulated a lot of talk.
So do you know Tiptoe to You? He or she says you're a great leader.
That is Sherry. She is one of our core group members. And I wouldn't have stayed with this as long as I have if I didn't have people like her.
Well, she owes you $3. So, or you owe her $3 because she said you're a great leader. Okay, here's one. How can we reach Larry and about his group and the possibility of starting? I'll go possibility of starting. Join PrepperNet.net and contact Beth G. Beth G is the queen of PrepperNet. But how about you? How people just PrepperNet.net or?
Through PrepperNet.net, or if they're on Facebook, look for PrepperNet Northeast Tennessee. Or I'll give you my email address. It's prepare, the number 2, survive, capital T, capital N for Tennessee, of course, at yahoo.com.
Yahoo.
Yeah. Oh, I've been around for a long time, folks. I can't help it.
Yahoo. Did you upgrade from AOL? I'm sorry.
Upgraded from Hotmail, at least.
Okay. I feel like this type of community organization spreading. Do you guys have any pointers for talking to your neighbors about organizing? Yeah. So, organizing with your neighbors are the toughest things because it's easier to bring together like-minded people than to then go to a community and hope everyone's like-minded. You know what I mean? If I say, okay, everyone that loves, French poodles, dogs, come over here. And then that separates the people as opposed to going to your community and go, okay, all the French poodle people and some people have other different dogs. It's just hard. But I've told this story many times about my neighborhood. I've made all my surrounding houses, more or less start thinking about it. And just a quick story I'm going to do it in 20 seconds. Hurricane knocked out power. I put my generator, a whole house generator, and everybody came over to my house like, what is that? And I said, my whole house generator. Everyone here is on a well and their septic tanks are power. I said, if you guys need to use the bathroom, need to take a shower, if you need water, come to my house. And they said, how can we help? And I said, my generator takes natural gas, which you guys can't bring, but it takes propane and it takes gasoline. It's tri-fuel. And all of a sudden, people started buying gas and propane. Then another disaster a year later, we lost power. And all of a sudden, I heard like 4 other generators. So people go, hey, I'll get my own generator. So anyway, that's kind of how I did it in my community. How about you? You got any pointers for that?
A lot of it went through where we kind of hang out at. That was one of the things I can remember talking to people at church, and they would be talking and asking questions, and we'd stand, and I'd give them what ifs, and I'd give them ideas and scenarios. Actually had somebody who talked to me about PrepperNet at church one day, and I said, well, you ought to get on there and see about joining. And it was on Facebook, and they sent the request, and my phone went off in my pocket, and I pulled it out and approved it, put it back in my pocket, acting like it was a work call. And they went, man, I got approved really quick. And I just kind of laughed, didn't think much about it. And we got to talking more. And, that was one of the things. And through scouting and through work and through various parts of the community, my daughter was really involved in 4-H. And you just got to kind of pick and choose those people you feel comfortable talking to all across your community, not just one place.
Yeah. Someone's walking up to you with a Bud Light. You would go, well, maybe not. I'm kidding. That's a joke on the news. You see the next question there. What kind of advice for vehicle conversions, and what's the biggest mistake you made?
The biggest mistake I made was our goal is to build another Campulance that was actually drivable, and we want to hand this one down. But what I would tell you, ambulances are great because they're self-contained. We've stayed in some major storms in that thing and couldn't even tell it was raining outside. And one of the things I looked at with it was storage, being able to have plenty of storage, being able to have watertight storage. That was very important. Some of the things I'd recommend is your storage, alternate means of light. Mine has 2 bulldozer batteries in it, and we ran for almost a whole year, May to November, without recharging the batteries, and ran off those 2 bulldozer batteries. And there's a lot of things, anybody wants to talk about it, hit me on there, and I'll send you pictures of everything we did to ours from beginning.
Let me ask you a question though.
Yes.
And don't let this offend you.
Okay.
On a scale of redneck, 1 being not a redneck at all, or 10 a redneck vehicle? I mean, where would you put that on that sliding scale there?
You know, I would probably have to put it at a 8.7 because
First, I can't believe I asked that question, but
you know, I did a lot of conversions to it. I added windows where there wasn't windows. I put fans in it. It's got a basket on top. I used to make the joke that was the mother-in-law's quarters up on top, and
nice.
I can
Nice.
put a pretty good sized tent up on top, and it'll haul anything I want to put in it, anywhere I want to take it. So yeah, at least it don't look like the Beverly Hillbillies going down the road. I mean, it works.
Okay, comms. You guys have comms and practice comms over in Tennessee?
Yes, Justin is our comms guy. He works with Patrick a lot. We're still building on our comms group in the basis that we have a lot of various repeaters over here. We have a lot of people that's in different stages of their interest in comms. So Justin and a few other people in the group have been working to try to incorporate everybody at whatever level they're interested, to try to get them to understand where all they can come to be able to talk.
Okay. Rule number 3.
The rules of 3. Okay, so you got 3 minutes without air. I want to add one before that one. And it's Larry Denny's personal preference.
Okay.
3 seconds without protection. That's shorter than 3 minutes without air.
Okay.
Okay, then you've got your 3 hours without shelter, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. And I'm gonna say this: 3 months without a group, without companionship, without having people to watch your back and you watch theirs, and
Yep.
without knowing that you have other people besides you. But that 3 seconds without protection, yes.
In alone, a lot of times the loneliness of missing family members is what knocks a lot of people out. So yeah. Let's see some more questions here. Is there a PrepperNet app? Beth, will you take care of that, or people in there? Tell her how to. There is a PrepperNet app, but no. Tell her, share how she can. It's actually on the website, I believe. Let's see here what other questions we have. Here's Rita in Seattle. It says, I'm in Seattle, want to secure a hood in case to get yeah, how do you recruit people? I guess, how do you know how many people to recruit and secure the streets and homes? Well, first of all, I would say this. I had a friend of mine call me just this week. No, sorry, it was not this week. It was last week. And he asked me, he says, Forrest, I want to put a well on my land. And I knew where he lived. And I'm like, do you? He goes, yeah, I need land as a backup. Not land, a well on my land for backup. And I asked him, I said, are you sure you want a well? He goes, well, if the power goes out and I'm on city water, I lose power. And I said, well, let me ask you, are you planning on staying there if it gets really bad? He goes, well, yeah. And then we discussed that. And then after we finished talking, he goes, if I stay here, I'll die. And I'm like, well, that's what I was thinking. So why would you spend, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it is to drill a well on your land? Why would you do that? It could be a backup, but that backup's for peacetime. That's not for crappy at the fan time. Crappy at the fan time where you live, you better go, because there's so many people lives around him. But anyway, it's hard to recruit. It's hard to stay where you are. A lot of people stay where they are. I would challenge people. I think it's Selco is his name. And then the other one is, you guys are going to hear it or be able to answer it in the chat room. Ferrari or Fergo or whatever his name is. Ask them guys about living in a city when the crap hit the fan about people that stayed there. It's tough. People die. But anyway, it's just hard. Assess your situation where you live. If you have 500 people within a mile from you, that's tough. But anyway, do you want to comment on that? That's a hard one.
Well, I never thought that Johnson City would have protests the size that we saw in 2020, and they're on a main road in our town, and I had to work them, but while working them, I tried to get on Zello and communicate with our people here in East Tennessee on our Zello channel and say, stay away from these areas of town. Don't go in these areas. And it turned in they created a lot of havoc in our city and in our county. And then they started targeting other cities. So I'll just say this. We moved out of the city because of what I do for a living.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I suggest everybody find you a piece of property. Doesn't matter how big it is. Just get out of the city.
Yeah, Eric Parlow, I like the smiley faces, but hey, everyone knows I'm not staying here when the crap hits the fan. So all my neighbors can have my generator, by the way, and they can have my food here. They can have everything that I don't pack up. They know it's theirs. So let's see here. I do like this one too. I've heard this one, 3 seconds without hope. Maybe 3 minutes, but there's hope. But you said that about, you got to be around people. And Beth doesn't know what she's talking about. She makes stuff. She reads books and she doesn't learn it. It just kind of goes through her head, and she just repeats it, hoping people think she's smart. She slammed me earlier. I'm just getting her back. I'm looking for more questions. There's a lot of good stuff in the information. If you are within, okay, what's this one? If you're within 100 miles from a city, you will die. Hey, she's talking like me now. Yeah, she's talking like me now. I'm not seeing any more questions, but I'm going through here as fast as I can.
I'm gonna throw in a plug for Beth.
Okay.
Last year at our November camp out, we had a tarp shelter challenge, and Beth set up her tarp shelter. Now, Beth spent the night in her tarp shelter. And she, year before last, they came up and competed. And year before last is when she actually stayed in her shelter, and it got down into the low 20s, and she toughed it out. She didn't back up. She said she's gonna build that shelter, and she stayed in it.
Well, I wish you wouldn't say things like that. It kind of makes me want to pull for her a little bit when you say things like that. Oh yeah, she responds. Yeah. So, what events do you guys have coming up? What's the next event? You got a camp out that coming up in May?
We got a camp out. It's just so happens it's the same weekend as Mountain Readiness. We've got one. I could put up a calendar, but we've got one in every month through November, and we try to alternate them away from other events so people can go to both. And it just happened that it fell that weekend. But let me grab my calendar here, and I'll tell you exactly what the dates are.
Okay. Well, you do. Okay. Make sure I get here. So Dave at Mountain Readiness, my class is not a paid class. So, I think if you come to me, I'll make sure you get in for sure. I don't know how they're doing. I'm just answering a question while you're looking that up, Larry.
I've got the dates. Yeah.
Go ahead.
May 4th or 5th, 6th, 7th, June 9th, 10th, and 11th, July 20th, 21st, 22nd, August 11th, 12th, and 13th. If I'm going too fast, just ask me a month and I'll give it to you again. September 8, 9, and 10. And there's a reason why we do 8, 9, and 10, because we figure if something's going to happen on the anniversary of 9/11, we'll already be the heck out of the city.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then in October, it is 6th, 7th, and 8th. And November, we haven't given the dates out yet because the particular campground we use, they don't let you make reservations more than 6 months out. And we try to get in and get our reservations as quick as we can.
Yep.
And it's Little Oak Campground up on Highway 421 outside of Bristol.
I will come to one of them this year. I'm
I
hoping
hope
to.
so. We've been
I hope
inviting you
so.
for a long time. We're
Well,
feeling slighted.
well, you kind of do this, like, no, don't come, but yeah, come. It's kind of, but hey, I will say at Mountain Readiness, I am teaching a class on home-based business. It's from my book, and I'm also teaching survival groups. And here's the thing. Okay, everyone in PrepperNet has heard my survival groups over and over and over, and it's not changing too much because what I tell and sharing that is truth. It is just it's reality. But you don't know how many people have been in that group, even if you've been in there 4 times, and you see someone else going, "Oh, I wonder why they're here." And all of a sudden, people meet each other because I tell you how you meet people and all that stuff. But survival groups and home based business will be taught there. So I wanted to touch that. And then I know y'all didn't see this, but someone wrote, "Forrest, you're awesome at this and very good looking." Y'all didn't see it in the chat though. I'm kidding. Everybody's complimenting you here. What is the comms called? Dell,
I think they're talking about Zello.
Zello, yes. So it's Zello. If you go to PrepperNet, now it's not the Zelle app where you can wire money. Well, we can try that too. Y'all can put my name in there. This is like a walkie-talkie on the cell phone. But if you go again, if you go in there to comms, or I don't know if there's a group for Zelle or whatever, but yeah, just ask on .net and you'll have 25 people give you more information than you really wanted. Let's see here. Oh, here's someone that's in Boone. Hey, I love Boone. Love Boone. Got property up in Boone. Love Boone. That's not too far from you guys. Larry, here's another question. Thanks for not telling me about the bear until the next day.
It was a bear. Don't worry about bears.
What is
Bear
coming?
hunters, some bear hunters chased a bear into the campground, and it ran through by our bathroom and down over and went into the lake and swam away from the dogs that were chasing it.
Oh. So, and Beth was afraid. She's a little afraid of a little bear. I saw my first bear ever at Prepper Camp last year. I mean, like live in the wild, not set up, or I walked out of my tiny house, and behind my car, which was 15 feet, a bear was sticking his head out from behind my car. And I told you this, didn't I? I told everybody at Prepper Camp. And we just kind of stared at each other, and all of a sudden he turned around and took off. And the most impressive thing was his feet hitting the ground going up the hill. I'm like, dang, I could feel that and hear it in my body as he's taking these steps. It was crazy. So I wasn't scared until that happened, actually.
We've got one that drinks out of our spring, and everybody around us and they'll call the house and say, "Your bear did this," or "Your bear did that." He comes and gets water out of our spring, but he's never tore up anything here, never bothered anything.
Yep. So do you do background checks of vetting for members of your group? Yes. Now, okay, there's 2 groups here. If you're talking a city group like Larry runs, that's a city group open to the public.
Yes.
I'm sure Larry probably does some vetting, like every city leader go, and they'll kind of just like a high level, seeing what groups you're a member of, all this. We kind of do that because we want to know who's coming in. I mean, I know I do that, and Beth definitely does that. Beth Dang pays $35 and does a full background check. I'm kidding, but she just wants to know. Now, in my survival group, you wouldn't believe we do background checks on everyone, even me. I put it together, and that's because, I mean, is anyone a blind if they do something wrong and not telling people? I mean, some people, you just don't know. So we always do background checks, and we do it every few years on people. But yes, I hope that answered your question. You want to comment on that, Mr. Background Checker?
I have never used my resources to do any background checks. No, what I would say is vetting is a lot of communication. You know, everybody in our group talks to everybody, and
Yeah.
everybody talks to each other. And you know, we've met people that weren't quite how they represented themselves at first, and
Yep.
those people usually make it easy for you to weed them out. And you know, like I said, you get to know people.
Yep. Beth says, I do not. She always yells at me. See that? She's yelling even on
See
chat. She
that
yells
big
at me.
capital letters.
Y'all think she's some sweet person, but she's mean. And I think here Echo Papa, they kind of check, all the leaders kind of checks on everyone. I mean, we do that. It's smart to do that these days. You got to know who's in and find out about them. If someone throws up some red flags, I mean, then you take them out back. Okay, maybe not. Maybe you don't do that. I would not suggest that. Okay, we're getting down close. Oh, here's another question. This will be the last question. I don't know if you know this person or not. Tell them about a lady who did not trust you because you were a cop. What?
We actually had a lady join our group, came to multiple meetings, and then started talking to people in the group saying, well, I don't really know if I trust a cop running this group. And a bunch of them actually laughed at her and said, you know, he's always honest with us. He gives us information that we probably wouldn't get anywhere else. And the best part about it is he'll tell you how to stay out of trouble, not get you into trouble. And that's the way I look at it. I mean, I may do that for a living, but PrepperNet's my life. I mean, being what I am may pay the bills, but PrepperNet's my life.
Yep. Yes, and also you can get us out of all tickets, which is awesome. So if you have a ticket, contact. So Parlo is just saying, hey, you got to do all. If there's someone in your group and you're going to trust them with your life, you better know every friggin' thing you can about that person.
Yep.
So, and I agree. The story. And then someone said the jury's still out on me. Yeah, I understand. Trust me. Okay, well, that's a good. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
So people can contact you on preppernet.net. It's probably the best way. Just join that. You can look up Larry. He's on there all the time. His members are on there, and you can ask them questions, what they're doing. If other city leaders want to talk to you, hey, that's why we have our city leader meetings, so our city leaders can connect with each other. Any final words. I used to say any last words, but that sounds very doomish. Any final?
I guess my final words would be get out and get started. You know, I've heard some people say sometimes if you haven't started by now, it's too late. It's not too late. And get out, get started, and celebrate every accomplishment you make, and don't get overwhelmed. Just get started and one foot in front of the other till you get where you need to be, and don't stop. Keep going after that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Just get started. Even if it's just doubling your pantry or whatever you need to do, just get started. Join PrepperNet. People will motivate you. One last question. I really do have to.
Oh, that was so wrong. That is so wrong.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So the mustache recommended for survival. Yeah, it is, I guess.
At the water filter.
Okay, it's a water filter. Okay, everyone, we're going to be back in 2 weeks. We're going to have a mystery guest. It's so mysterious. I don't know who it is yet, but we'll have someone incredible, and it'll be a mystery. Hey, Larry, thank you for. I mean, I said this in the beginning, but you do way more for PrepperNet than just a city leader. I call you a question sometimes. You give advice. You help other people. I mean, you are the leadership team for PrepperNet for sure, and I appreciate everything that you do for PrepperNet. And if you could control Beth, I would pay you money. And I know everyone's like, why do you always tell me? Well, Beth like runs everything. If you don't know, she's like the queen. So I give her a hard time, and she can't fire me. I love that. Well, maybe she can actually, but hey, thanks for joining us this week. In 2 weeks, we'll be back. Join preppernet.net. immediately this evening. Sign up for our premium membership. And hey, I'm going to do an email about the food this coming weekend. Everyone, you guys take care, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you, everyone.
See y'all. Take care.